Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know that it has been a very long time since I've posted, and I do apologize, but I'm super excited to get back into the swing of things and start giving you guys some new content because, as you know, I am now a flight attendant. So my videos are going to primarily focus on like the real life of a flight attendant, and also just like some lifestyle, like travel, and also fitness vlogs as well. So I'm super excited to kind of revamp the channel and bring you guys all that new content. So I thought that to kind of get back into the swing of things and get started, I would do a Q&A session, just because I've gotten a lot of questions from you guys just asking me about different things about this career. And so I took about 11 questions that I'm gonna answer from you guys. So let's go ahead and jump right in. My first question is, what is your favorite part of being a flight attendant? So that's a really hard question because there's a lot of fun parts of being a flight attendant. My favorite part is probably just the travel, kind of living out of a suitcase. Like, it's just really exciting. Like, you never know like what's gonna happen that day, because every day is different, like there could be delays. Like, I wake up some mornings having no idea if I'm even gonna work or not, and then I'll get a call from crew scheduling and they're like, hey, you're going to so-and-so, and I'm like, okay, like, cool. So just like the excitement, I would have to say, is one of my favorite parts. Next question, how do you prepare for a flight attendant interview? I actually want to do an entire video focused on this because I have gotten a lot of questions, and there's kind of a lot to say, but I'll try to kind of keep this answer short and sweet, and then I'll make another video kind of going more into detail on that. So to prepare for a flight attendant interview, usually your first interview is going to be a video interview. This is the interview that is going to capture the attention of your future employer. So my main advice for that would just be dress very professional, nice collared shirt and like a blazer. Also just very clean, like natural makeup, nothing like crazy, like no like crazy eyeshadows or anything, just like a really natural look. The red lipstick and like pearls, you could even do like a pearl necklace if you want, hair pulled back, and just be very professional. Practice your answers. You don't always know the questions, but there are many tools out there to help you succeed. Like, I went on Glassdoor and I just found like every possible flight attendant question, and I sat down and I wrote like paragraph answers for each of them, just so that whenever I was asked a question, I wasn't going to be like thrown through a loop and like have no idea like how to answer it. So that would be my main like advice for the video interview, is just like be prepared. Don't just like get really excited and like throw on something and then go and just like start the interview. Like, really take your time. They usually give you like 3 to 5 days, I would say, to do that interview. So don't rush into it. Really take your time and answer those questions, and really just like prepare the answers before you go and do the video interview. Next question, what was flight attendant training like? Flight attendant training was like the hardest month of my life. I do work for a regional airline, so it was a shorter training class, and that month it was honestly hell. Like, it was so much fun. It was one of the best times of my life, but also like the hardest. I met a lot of really cool people. I made some really good friends that I'm still really good friends with till this day. However, it's intense. You're in the classroom for like 8 to 12 hours a day learning new information. So it's just a lot of information to comprehend. But you just really have to like soak it all in. And it's like when you get out of class, then you have to go home and study, or go back to the hotel and study. And there's not much time for like yourself. Like, we got 1 day off a week. And on those days off, we went out, we had fun. because you needed that. Like, you needed to kind of decompress from that stressful week, because it's a lot of information, it's a lot of tests, it's a lot of drills. So yeah, like, I knew it was going to be hard, but it was harder than I even like could have imagined. But like I said, it was a really great time in my life, and I made some awesome friends that I'm still really, really good friends with to this day. Next question. How do you handle being on reserve? So for people that don't know what reserve is, it's basically a period of time after you get hired as a flight attendant and you graduate training. And it, like, I can't really give you like a certain time frame because it's all different, depending on like your airline and like your base and how many people are at that base, but you're basically on call. So for me, I'll probably be on reserve for about a year. And being on reserve, like, you get like a time period, like 3 to 3 or 10 to 10, and you're just on call. Like, you're just sitting there kind of waiting for crew scheduling to call you and give you a trip. So when they call you, they could call you at 3 a.m. There have been several times, because typically that's my reserve period, is a 3 to 3. And so at 3 a.m., I get a nice call from crew scheduling, and they're like, hey, you're going on a 3-day trip. You're going here and here. And of course, I'm answering the phone like, hello, because I'm literally half asleep, because that's like the middle of the night. But yeah, so when they call you, you have like 2 hours to get ready and get to the airport and go on that trip. So being on reserve is really stressful. You can't make plans because you have no idea what's going to happen. You like, there could be some days that you don't work, that they don't call you, and there could be days that they do and they call you for that 6 days. Like, typically I'm on reserve from like 4 to 6 days at a time. And you know, I might get called every single day of that period, or I may only get called like a couple days. So the way I handle it is just, you know, you've got to just be open-minded. You've got to just be ready for anything, you know. You've got to be ready to go on you could go on like a 6-day trip. Like, you have no idea. So you just have to be ready. And, you know, just take it with a grain of salt. Like, it does suck, but like, every flight attendant has to serve their time. You know, it's not going to always be like that. So, and that just like is another. Okay, so as we were literally just talking, crew scheduling just called me, and today I have 4 legs. I'm working Omaha to Denver, Denver to Durango, Durango to Denver, and Denver to Indy. So I just called them, or they just called me, and they were like, instead of working your last leg, we're gonna deadhead you back to Indy due to a possible violation with your schedule. So basically, like, we were supposed to get in, I want to say about 11 o'clock, but I think there might be delays today, so it's possible that it'll go into my day off. So that's why they're deadheading me, and deadheading just means instead of working the flight, I'm going to actually be a passenger on that flight, but I'll still get paid, which is pretty cool. Deadheading is like the best part of being a flight attendant, or one of the best parts, because you don't actually have to operate that flight. You're just a passenger, so you can kind of just sit and chill. So that's always nice. Plus, that was a meal flight, and I hate meal flights. I don't hate them, but they're just a lot more work. So now, instead of working it, I get to just be a passenger. So that's cool. Anyways, sorry, back to what we were talking about. But that kind of wrapped up that question. Like, reserve, you just got to be ready for it. You know, it's something that all flight attendants have to do, and you know, you just got to go with the flow. That's really what you have to do with this job, is go with the flow. Next question. What made you want to be a flight attendant? A lot of reasons. Like, I've always thought it was just so cool. I've always wanted to travel the world. I've really struggled like figuring out what I wanted to do with my life, like, forever. You know, there's a lot of people that like know when they're young, like, oh, I want to be a teacher when I grow up, or I want to be a doctor, or blah blah blah. But I was never like that. Like, I never knew what I wanted to do. And you know, I was in school for a couple years. I changed my major a bunch of times. I just had no idea, and it was just a lot of stress. I'm like, I've got to do this for the rest of my life. Like, I want to do something that I'm gonna enjoy doing. And a typical 9-to-5 business job, like, it wasn't one of those things that I thought I was going to enjoy. So I got this opportunity, and I decided to just go for it and see where it would take me. And honestly, I do not regret it. I mean, it's only been 2 months, but I absolutely love this job, and I couldn't imagine doing anything different. So I'm really glad that I kind of just decided to like go with my heart and like take that leap of faith and go to training, and it's been awesome ever since. Next question. How do you hold yourself accountable to work out when traveling so much? For me, I used to be very focused on the gym. Like, I was in the gym 5-6 days a week. I was training really hard. I was dieting. I was doing this and that. And honestly, I was really unhappy. Like, I love to work out. I've always loved it. But there came a time where like I just kind of got burned out. And I started to hate working out. It felt like a chore. Like, it felt like I had to go to the gym and like I have to eat this freaking broccoli and chicken. Like, it became a chore, and it was something that I no longer enjoyed doing. And so I decided to kind of change my mindset on it a little bit. Like, instead of being like so hardcore in the gym, I kind of cut back. I started going like 4 or 5 days a week, and you know, I wasn't stressing so hard if I missed a session, because I used to be like, oh my God, I didn't go to the gym today, and I didn't go to the gym yesterday. Like, I've got to go tomorrow. I've got to get back on track. But now, like, especially with this career, like with this lifestyle, it's all over the place. Like, some days I'm working like 12 to 14 hours a day, and I am absolutely exhausted, and there's no way I'm going to the gym. So at this point in my life, I'm getting to the gym when I can get to the gym. I'm doing my best, and that's something that I can honestly say has helped me a lot. Now I actually enjoy the gym again. Like, I like going to work out. It makes me feel good, when before I was burning myself out and I hated it and I didn't even want to be there. So honestly, the way that I've been handling it is just like going when I can go and not beating myself up when I can't, because we're all human. Like I said, with this job, it's all crazy. I'm on my feet all day long, so you know, I am getting cardio, and like sometimes my feet just hurt so bad and I want to go and lay in the hotel room and not go to the gym, and that's okay. And so I've gotten really good at, you know, just being okay with that and just doing the best that I can do. So hopefully that answered your question. Moving along. What kind of workouts do you do, and what's your favorite? So I used to do like muscle groups. Like, I would do like shoulders and triceps, back and biceps, quads and glutes, and then like glutes and hammies. But now, since like I only go to the gym like a couple days a week, I try to focus more on like just upper body. So I'll do like all the upper body movements and work all my like upper body muscles one day, and then the next day I'll do like all lower body. And then some days I'll just do total full body, or I'll do like a quick little HIIT session, or I'll just go and do cardio. It's kind of just like whatever I can fit in at this point. And I'm super excited because I am gonna start filming more workouts, and so hopefully you guys will like that, and I'll keep filming more and kind of show you what I do in the gym. What is your go-to meal when you're on the go? So I've been doing this for 2 months now. I have not quite mastered the meal prep thing. It's just hard because I don't want to buy a bunch of food and then not have time to cook it, or it go to waste, because I'm not home very often. So my really like go-to meals that I just like have in my lunchbox, I have a bunch of oatmeal packets for like a quick breakfast on the plane. Tuna has been like my savior. Just having a couple things of tuna in my bag and just opening that and eating is a great source of protein. When you're on the go, beef jerky is like something that's just so easy, and it's a good source of protein. Just like little snacks, like I like to do like the little hummus cups and like crackers and like string cheese, and just little snacks like that is pretty much what my go-to has been lately. Next question. Does traveling so much ever get to be too much? Honestly, no. I love it. I love traveling. Living out of a suitcase is really fun. And I love going to like the different hotels and like getting to experience all the different things. So honestly, I mean, like, it gets tiring. It definitely does. And like, I miss being at home sometimes, and like I miss my fiance, and I miss my family, and you know, like that happens sometimes, but most of the time I'm too busy to even think about it. But I really do like to travel, and honestly, like, so far it really hasn't gotten to be too much, because it's usually a pretty good balance of like, I'm working all these days, so I'm super busy, but then I get to go home for like 2 or 3 days. So that's really nice. How do you and Levi make long distance work? That's a really good question. So I would just have to say communication. When you're in a long distance relationship, like, you have to communicate with one another, and that could be like anything, but like, we communicate in all sorts of ways. We like to FaceTime, we like to talk on the phone, text, Snapchat. You know, a lot of times we are too busy to talk on the phone, so we just kind of like text throughout the day, check in with one another, you know, send Snapchat. So it's like, I don't feel like I'm missing out, and like, he doesn't, like, he kind of knows like what I'm doing and like what's going on, like, because I can send him like, oh, look at this hotel, like, it's super cool. Or so really just communicating, like, and that's like with any relationship, even if it's not long distance, but especially long distance, because we don't get to see each other very often. But I will say that the long distance has created this like spark that it's like when we first started dating, like, I can honestly say that me and Levi are the strongest that we have been in the entire 6 years that we've been together. Besides communication, I have to say trust is the other big thing. If you don't have trust, then you might as well just go ahead and end it, because it's not going to work. Like, if you're constantly insecure and thinking that like they're talking to other people, or they're like hanging out with other females or other men or whatever, then it's not going to work, because you're going to constantly like, those insecurities are going to eat you alive, and you're not going to be able to like focus on that relationship like you should. So, you know, I trust Levi 100%. Like, I love, like, when he gets to go out with his friends and like do things, it makes me really happy. And like, same for him, like, when I go out with my crew or I go out with my friends and do stuff, like, he like loves to see that. And like, he's never like mad at me or like, oh, why are you hanging out with them, or blah blah blah. Like, you have to have that trust, because if not, then it's like you're constantly wondering like what that person's doing, and it's just not healthy. So I will say that, you know, those are the two main things, just the communication and the trust, and we have both of those things. And yeah, it's honestly been, like I said, we're both the happiest that we've been in the entire 6 years we've been together. It gives us that spark. Like, I get to see him tomorrow, and I'm so excited. Like, I like literally get butterflies, and I hadn't gotten butterflies in a long time, you know? So yeah. Last question I'm gonna answer. What is one piece of advice you would give someone looking to pursue the career of being a flight attendant? One piece of advice. I would just have to say, don't give up. Being a flight attendant is hard to get into. I'll go ahead and say I applied for some jobs, a couple, like, after I turned 21. I'm 23 now. When I turned 21, I applied for a bunch of jobs, and I actually made it to the face-to-face with Delta, and I didn't get the job. I was really heartbroken. Like, I had my eyes set on Delta and being a flight attendant, because like, they're out of Atlanta, so I could have possibly stayed at home. And I didn't get it, and I was really devastated. Like, I went an entire year before I started applying for flight attendant jobs again, and then finally at the beginning of this year, I decided, you know, whatever, like, I'm not gonna let that, just because I didn't get that one job like that, to like destroy my chances of like possibly getting another flight attendant job. So I kept applying, and then here I am now, like 2 months into the job, and I'm so happy that I didn't let that like defeat me and like completely stop, because then I wouldn't, who knows what I'd be doing. I'd probably be miserable working some desk job. So just don't give up. And like, also one big thing I have to say is, like, if you are thinking about this career, you know, it is, everyone thinks it's all glamorous, and I mean, it's pretty fun. Like, it's awesome. I mean, it is a great job, and I absolutely love it. But people need to realize that it's not all fun. Like, it's not all glamorous, you know, like, there are very long days. You hardly get sleep. Like, there is the possibility of relocation. Like, if you do become a flight attendant, you will more than likely have to relocate. And that's like one thing that like I just wish people would understand, because I did have some people in my training class that like did not realize that like they weren't gonna get their first choice base, and they were gonna possibly have to move far away from all of their friends and family. But you know, honestly, like it is so worth it. It really is. Like, I mean, you get to fly for free, so you can go see them anytime, like you're not working. So that's just the main piece of advice I would give, is just like don't give up, and also just do all of your research and just know what you're getting yourself into. Because like I said, there were a couple people in my training class that didn't realize like the entirety of this job, like there were a lot of things that weren't also glamorous. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It's my first ever Q&A, so hopefully I did a decent job. But I have a lot of really good content coming soon, so I hope that you guys will stick around, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.